Hi friends, you're watching FK Life Learning is Fun and Easy. This is Fareen Khalid with you, and today I am back again with some more concepts in multiplication. If you remember, I've already done a video on easy multiplication, but we could not cover a few concepts in that video. Now in this video we are going to cover a few more concepts that should sum it all up, and you should be able to do multiplication in a much more simpler way. Okay, so let's go ahead.
Okay, so now let's start with the easy multiplication part 2. Okay, so now we are going to cover like around 3 to 4 things here, which is not covered in our previous multiplication video. Okay, this one of the tricks that I'm going to show you is multiplication of any number by 11. All right, so it could be a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number. So when you have to multiply any number by 11, the trick is quite easy. Okay, then we are going to cover multiplication of a 2 or 3-digit number by any 1-digit number. Okay, any 1-digit number. Then there is squares of any numbers ending with 5. We have already done a video on squares. Now this one is squares of any number ending with 5. Okay, there's a very easy way to do this one. Okay, so now let's start with the first one. In the first case, when we do the multiplication of any number by 11 and we take a 2-digit number times 11, the clue that I have written here is add the 2 digits of the number and put it in between the 2 digits. That will be your answer. So if let's say the number is TU, so T is the tens digit and U is the units digit, and you add T plus U, and if it gives you an answer X, so your answer is going to be TXU. So now let's take the first example, which is 23 times 11, that is 253. Okay, so now in case of 23 times 11, what do? We do 2 plus 3, okay, which is 5. All right, so 2 plus 3 is 5. Now we have to just put this 5 in between the 2 and the 3. So 253 is your answer. Now let's do 3 more. So the next one is 45 times 11, which is 495. So 45 times 11, so we do 4 plus 5, which is equal to 9. And so we just put the 9 in between the 4 and the 5, so it becomes 495 is our answer. Okay, now let's do the next one, which is a little different from what we just did. So it's 74 times 11. Okay, so in case of 74 times 11, when you add 7 and 4, it gives you an answer 11. Okay, so if your answer is 11 and you have to put it in between 7 and 4, okay, you have to put this in between 7 and 4. So what do we do here? It's very simple. You can just, carry over this 1 in the tens place and you add it to this 7. So the answer is 814. Okay, so whenever you get a 2-digit number in between, you just carry it over and you get the answer in a 3-digit. Okay, so because what we are doing here, we are adding and we are multiplying a 2-digit number by 11, okay, which is how many digits? 1 2 3 4. So it's a 4-digit question, so most probably the answer should be in a 3-digit. Okay, there can be some rare times when you can get a 4-digit answer. Okay, so now let's do the next one. So the next one here is 86 times 11. Okay, so now here we can do 86 times 11. Okay, in this case 8 plus 6 is 14, of course. Yeah, so this is 14. So now you put the 8 and you put the 14 here, and you actually, you don't have to really pen it down. Once you know the trick, you cannot do it in your mind. Okay, this is mental maths, which is really fast. So but just to give you an illustration, I'm writing it here. So you just carry over the 1, so it becomes 946. Okay, let's try another one, just a random one somewhere. Maybe it can be 36 times 11. So 6 plus 3 is 9, so it's just 396. Okay, Let's take one more. It's 42. So it's 462. So anything times 11 is so easy. Okay, now let's do the same method, but this time we have a 3-digit number. Okay, in this there is a slight difference. Okay, now in the case of a 3-digit number multiplied by 11, you have to add. Till now we were adding the tens and the units, if you remember. Now we add, firstly we have to add the hundreds digit and the tens digit, and then you have to add the tens digit and the units digit. Okay, and both these number you write in between the last 2 digits, okay, which is the H and the U. Okay, now let's say if the number is HTU, which is hundreds, tens and units, then you do H plus T, which we have taken as X, then you do T plus U, which you have taken as Y. So your answer is going to be H, X, Y, U. Okay, let's take an example. 325 times 11. Okay, so if it is 325 times 11, so first we do 3 plus 2, which is 5. Then you have 2 plus 5, which is 7. So your answer is going to be between the 3 and the 5 here, you put this. Okay, so you have 3, 5, 7, and the last digit is 5. Okay, so here it is. Your answer is 3575. Now let's do the next one. 124 times 11. So what do we do here? 124 times 11. So that is you have 1 plus 2, which is 2, and then you have 2 plus 4, which is 6. So you just have to put the 26 in between the 1 and the 4. So it's 1, 2, 6, 4. Okay, so that's the answer. Now let's take the next example, which is 346 times 11. This example is to show you how there can be a carryover case and how do we handle that. So there is 346 times 11. Okay, so what do we do here? The same thing that we do. 3 plus 4, which is 7. Then you have a 4 plus 6, which is 10. So again we do the same thing here. Instead of writing 10, we write a 0 and we carry over the 1, so it becomes 80. Okay, now we just put this 80 in between the 3 and the 6, so it is 3, and then you put 80 and you put 6. So that is our answer. Okay, now let's take one more example, which is 839 times 11. Okay, 839 times 11, which is you do 8 plus 3, which is 11, and then you have 3 plus 9. Okay, 3 plus 9 is again 12. So now this is the one which has carry in 2 places. Okay, I have taken this example to show you how we do this. Okay, now we do as we did previously. We leave the 2 here and we carry over the 1, which makes it 12, but again the 1 from the 12 will be carried over to the first place digit, so which is 8. So when you put 8 here and you put the number like this, okay, in between the 2 numbers you put this, obviously this 1 is going to be carried over here and added to the 8, so it becomes 9, 2, 2, 9. Okay, so whenever you get a 2-digit number here, you will just carry it over to the digit on the left. You add it to that. Okay, let's take one last example. It's 732 times 11. So 732 times 11. 7 plus 3 is 10, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So we just write the 0 and the 5 in between. Okay, and then you have 7 and 2. So you put the 2 here, but to the 7 we have to add a 1, which is 8. So all this, you know, with practice you can do it mentally. You don't have to actually write it down on the paper. So it's mental maths and you can be really fast. You can multiply any number with 11 with this method in a faster way. If you practice it, you can do it like in 2 seconds in your mind. Okay, so now in our next case, we see how we can multiply a 2 or 3-digit number by any 1-digit number. Okay, the clue here says that if you split the hundreds, tens and units of the number, then you multiply it with the digit, you get your answer. Okay, so let's try this. So it's the first example is 23 times 7, which is 161. So 23 times 7. Okay, so what do we do here? That we have to split the number, which means that we do 20 plus 3. Basically 20 is 20 plus 3. So once you can do that in your mind, it becomes easier for you. Okay, so it becomes 7 to the 14, which is 140, and 7 3 the 21. Okay, so 7 times 20 is 140, 7 times 3 is 21, which makes it 161. So 161 is our answer. Okay, now you must be thinking you could do this directly as well, but if you do it with this method and you can practice it a lot of times, you can do bigger multiplications very easily in your mind. Okay, let's take another example. So now in the next example we have here 49 times 8, which is 392. So let's do it here. 49 times 8. Okay, so now when we do 49 times 8, what can we do here? You make it 40 plus 9, and then now you times it by 8. So 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, 320, and 8 times 9 is 72. So that's easy now. So 392 is the answer. Okay, let's take another one, which is 57 times 9. So 57 times 9, which is 50 plus 7. So that's 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 times 7 is 63. So 450 plus 63. In my mind, if you see my videos on addition, you can do the mental addition faster than you can think. So if you have gone through that video, then you should be able to do this within a second. If you haven't, please go through, so you will know how to do the addition. Okay, so now it's 450 plus 63. I quickly take a 50 here in my mind. It becomes 500, and 13 is left here, so it is 513 is the answer. All right, let's take the last example, 94 times 4. So 94 times 4, which is now I won't write it down for you, we just do it in the mind. So 9 times 4 is 36, so 360 plus 4 times 4 is 16, which makes it 376. So that's how we do this. Now let's go to the next part, which is the same kind of addition, multiplication, but it is a 3-digit times 1 digit. Okay, so what do we do here? The same thing, but this time we have hundreds place. So the first example here is 212 times 8. Okay, so we split this number in the similar way, which is 200 plus so you remove the 200, and then you have a 10, and then you have a 2. So now when you multiply this, it becomes super easy. So it's 8 times 2 is 1600, plus 8 times 7 is 80, and 8 times 2 is 16. So we have 1680, and then you have you add this 16, so 1696 is your answer. Now let's take the next example, 231 times 6, which should be 200 plus 30 plus 1 times 6. Okay, so it makes it 1200 plus 180 plus 6, which is 1200 plus 180 is 1380 plus 6, 1386 is your answer. So you can see how fast we are doing this. Okay, and if I wasn't explaining it to you, it would have been just a second to do this one. Okay, so you only have to split it in your mind, and then you multiply it with that single digit, so you can do big numbers like this. Okay, let's take the last one. It's 384 times 9. So 384 times 9, let's not write it down and do it faster. 9 times 3 is 2700, plus 9 times 8 is 720, plus 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, so which is 2700 plus 720 makes it 3420. Okay, and then we had a 36, so it becomes 3456. That's the answer. So please go ahead and practice this, and you can do it really fast. So now let's come to the last part of our multiplication video, okay, which says squares of any numbers ending with 5. Okay, now when you have a number that ends with 5, okay, then the last two digits will be 25 in the answer. Okay, the answer will have 25. That's it, we know that much. Okay, so basically the 5 that you have will be squared, it becomes 25, and the numbers that are left apart from the last 5, okay, you multiply those numbers with their consecutive number. Okay, let's see what I mean. So let's say if the number is t5 square, okay, the units digit is 5 and you have a tens digit, then all you do is do the tens digit times the consecutive number which is greater than that, and you just write the 25 in the answer. Okay, so in case of a 3-digit number, you do the same thing, but this time you consider ht as one number, you multiply it with the next consecutive number, and you write 25. Okay, let's see this in an example to make it easier. 85 square. How do we do 85 square? So if we have 85 square here, okay, all you have to do is the answer will have 25 in the end. Okay, and you have to do 8 times the next number, the 8 times the next number, which is 9. So 8 times 9 is 72. So your answer is 7225. Okay, now let's do the next one. 75 square. Okay, you have 75 square, so the answer ends with 25, and then you do 7 times 8 is 56. Your answer is 5625. Now let's do a 3-digit number. So 115 square. When you have 115 square, again you do the same thing, you make it 25 in the end. Now you have 2 digits left here, so it's 11 times 12 that you do here. Okay, you multiply 11 by its consecutive number, so 11 times 12, which makes it 132. So your answer is 13225. Okay, let's do one last one. It is 305 square. So you put the 25 here, and then you have a 30 times 31, which is 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 93, and you have a 0 here because there's a 0 here, so it's 93025. So your answer is 93025. You see, these concepts are really easy, and although there are quite a few, if you include both the videos, the first multiplication video and the second multiplication, this one, so it must be having like around 6 to 7 concepts. But if you can practice and memorize these concepts, you don't really have to do the traditional way of doing it and waste your time. You can just just identify the number, and automatically you'll be able to decide which procedure we have to follow here out of the procedures that we have learned, and you can do it in few seconds in your mind, a matter of 2-3 seconds. So whether you have to decide if the number ends with 5, there's another technique. If you're multiplying by 11, there's another technique. If you're multiplying by 5, 25, 125, I have another technique which I showed in my previous video, and different cases where you need to decide what you need to do, and then you can really become an expert at this multiplication thing in your mind.
So those were some really easy concepts I had for you, and please don't forget to watch the earlier video on multiplication if you still haven't watched it, because both of these together can give you a lovely set of examples in different scenarios where you have different kinds of numbers, and you can select which method you want to use here, and then just multiply in a matter of few seconds. And please be subscribed to my YouTube channel and also to my Facebook page, the details of which shall follow. Thank you and bye.